The war between Israel and Palestine is one of the most talked about conflicts in modern history, with each side claiming that they are in the right. So if you're confused about who did what to whom, then this is the video for you, because today we'll be explaining the entire history of Gaza in 100 seconds. Alright, let's go back to the beginning. In 1947, the British, who had been ruling Palestine since 1920, decided to leave, and the land was divided up between two states, one Jewish and one Arab. This didn't really work out, and after much bloodshed, Israel ended up occupying the entire land, including what is now Gaza. Now, Gaza was ruled directly by Israel from 1948 to 1967, but during that time they only controlled the coastal area, while the rest of the land was given to a bunch of different local leaders. But in 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel ended up capturing all of it. Now at this point, most of the Palestinians living there had actually fled. So when Israel took over, it was mostly empty. So they divided the territory between the West Bank, or Judea and Samaria, which they still rule today, and Gaza, which they gave to Egypt to rule in 1973, although Israel still kind of controlled it. Then, in 1987, the first intifada, or uprising against Israeli occupation, began, which lasted until 1993. This is also when Hamas was founded as an extremist group to fight against Israel's occupation of Palestinian land. Then, from 1994 to 2005, Yasser Arafat and Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin signed a bunch of peace deals, which led to the establishment of the Palestinian Authority, with limited self-governing abilities in Gaza and the West Bank. But then in 2006, Hamas won the Palestinian legislative election, and Israel responded by basically putting them under siege, cutting off electricity, water, and other supplies from Gaza. Then in 2007, Hamas seized control of Gaza completely, officially establishing the State of Palestine in defiance of Israel. Then from 2008 to 2012, Israel launched 3 separate military operations against Hamas in Gaza, but none of them really accomplished anything other than killing a bunch of people. And then in 2014, another war broke out between Israel and Hamas, which resulted in a ceasefire in 2021, with Israel agreeing to exchange 2,400 prisoners for an Egyptian-brokered ceasefire. Now, there's a lot more detail to this conflict, but if you want to hear more, then check out our podcast where we'll be diving deeper into the details. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's get back to the video. Now, since 2007, Gaza has been run by the militant group Hamas, which has been designated as a terrorist organization by pretty much every country in the world except for Iran and Syria. It is estimated that around 2 million Palestinians live in Gaza, which makes it one of the most densely populated areas in the world. And 2/3 of those living there are refugees either from the 1948 Arab-Israeli War or the 1967 Six-Day War. The economy of Gaza is primarily based on 3 sectors. The first is foreign aid, which accounts for about half of the territory's GDP. The second is small businesses, which account for around 40% of employment. And the third is public sector jobs, which are usually given to government employees, teachers, and members of the security forces. Since 2007, the private sector has struggled due to the political instability and the Israeli blockade. Around 80% of the businesses in Gaza are micro-enterprises with less than 5 employees. The main industries in Gaza include agriculture, which employs around 18% of the population, fishing, which is very popular in Gaza City and its coastal neighborhoods, and small-scale manufacturing. Around 55% of the population of Gaza are unemployed, and 35% live below the poverty line. The unemployment rate is higher among men than women, and it's even higher for people under 30. The healthcare system in Gaza is currently run by the Palestinian Ministry of Health, and they operate 18 hospitals and more than 70 primary healthcare clinics throughout the territory. There is a severe shortage of medical staff, equipment, and medicine in Gaza. The infant mortality rate is high, and life expectancy is low compared to the rest of the region. Education in Gaza is provided by both the Palestinian Authority and a number of international organizations. There are around 500 schools in Gaza providing education to children from kindergarten through to university level. However, the quality of education in Gaza is lower than in the West Bank due to the political instability and the lack of resources. Gaza is governed under Sharia law by Hamas, and they have complete control over the territory. There is no system of checks and balances, and there have been numerous reports of human rights abuses within Gaza. The situation of women in Gaza is particularly dire. They make up only 23% of the workforce and face significant discrimination in areas such as inheritance, divorce, and child custody. So that was the history of Gaza in 100 seconds. If you want to learn more about the Israeli occupation of Palestine or the Arab-Israeli conflict, then check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.